What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be starting a new series. This is episode 1 of Road to 100-pound chin-ups. So the reason I'm starting this series is because eventually I want to get into competing in street lifting. Right now, if you've been watching my channel, I'm able to do weighted dips and weighted pull-ups. I've been doing weighted pull-ups and chin-ups for a little bit over a year, and weighted dips I've been doing for a couple of months. My priority is still going to be overhead press. I'm going to try to hit that 200-pound overhead press. We're only at 155, but we're going to keep building. So for today's lift, I maxed out my weighted chin-ups. I don't think I've ever maxed out weighted chin-ups. I've maxed out weighted pull-ups before, but that was a really long time ago. I'm going to be prioritizing the weighted chin-up, not the weighted pull-up. So if you watch the last episode of Road to a 200-pound overhead press, I'm currently doing upper body, lower body split. So my upper body is the day where I'm doing overhead press and weighted chin-ups and weighted dips. So the first exercise I do is overhead press, the second is weighted chin-ups, and the third is weighted dips. So weighted chin-ups are my second priority. And then for the structure, it's going to be the same for all three exercises: weighted pull-ups, weighted chin-ups, weighted dips, and overhead press. I'm going to do 2 heavy sets, and then I'm going to do 1 set with the pause, which are paused reps. So for the overhead press and the dips, the pause will be at the bottom, and then so that'll be here for overhead press, and that'll be here for weighted dips, and then for chin-ups, the pause will be at the top, so it'll be a 2 to 5 second hold, then I'll lower down and do another rep. I'm going to keep this structure. As far as accessories for my weighted chin-ups, you'll see it in the next episode, but mainly 1 to 2 sets of barbell rows, and then I think my main accessory is I'm going to do a neutral grip weighted pull-up. I think this is going to be good because I can push more weight than I can on a weighted chin-up, and then it'll also work my brachialis a little bit because it's a similar motion to a hammer curl. And then I'll do a little bit of dumbbell shrugs, and then my other accessories as far as the supination bicep part of the chin-up, that'll be barbell curls. So I'll do 1 set of that, and then 1 set of alternating standing dumbbell curls. Before I was doing 2 sets of barbell curls, but now I'm going to lower it to 1 set. So now I'm going to cut to the part where I lift today and try to max out weighted chin-ups. Okay, so here I did 2 reps with body weight chin-ups. Before this, I did some resistance band pull-aparts, and then I did 1 set of 20 reps of 55-pound reverse lat pull-downs just to warm up. That rep was with 10 pounds. Then here I'm putting on 25 pounds. I'm going to do a rep with 25 pounds. Okay, so I did a rep with 25 pounds. Then I'm going to add the 10 pounds back and then do a rep with 35 pounds. Then from there, I'm going to go up to 45 pounds and see if I could hit it. Okay, so then here I went up to 45 pounds right here. Okay, so I hit 45 pounds, then I went up to 60 pounds for my next attempt. That rep was kind of sketchy. I don't know if I hit it. So then after, I tried to do it again, and I tried to make my grip a little bit wider than before. Okay, I'm not going to count that. That was even worse. So then after that, I just decided to drop the weight to 57.5 and then attempt that. But what I also did was, before I was putting a 45 a 10 and a 5, but I was putting both the 10 and the 5 on the same side of the 45. So here I did it the other way and I put the 10 and the 2.5 on a different side of the 45 pound just to make it a little bit more balanced. I don't know if this is actually helping or I just think it's helping, but yeah. Okay, and then I may have hit that 57.5, but I'm not exactly sure. What I probably need to do is get like a different angle or maybe two angles because this angle is not very good. Then after I worked up to trying to do a 1 rep max of weighted dips. Didn't really get it. I hit this single with 75 pounds and then I failed the stuff after. Okay, so after weighted dips, I did the rest of my upper body lift, which was overhead press, barbell rows, barbell curls, dumbbell curls, single arm, cable tricep pushdowns, single arm, cable rear delt flies, single arm, cable lateral raises, and then dumbbell lateral raises. I don't remember if I just said dumbbell curls, but dumbbell curls. And then I did some decline sit-ups and some hanging knee raises. But I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to talk about it on my next episode of Road to a 200-pound overhead press. But something really interesting happened that I didn't really get it on video, but something interesting happened after those weighted dips. So I'm going to talk about that there. So street lifting technique wise, I basically failed 60 pounds and 57.5 pounds. Training wise, I'm just going to call my 1 rep max. I'm just going to call it at like 55, 57.5. It doesn't really matter as much what my 1 rep max is right now if it's not a strict form, because all that matters is I I just get a bit of a baseline and see where I'm at, and then I just keep building from there. So obviously there's not going to be much benefit to me doing a 1 rep max anytime soon. So I'm going to get some more training in, and then once I feel like the weights are moving up, then I'll go for another 1 rep max attempt. This is similar to what I do with overhead press. Is once I do a set or do a lift where I feel like I made a lot of progress, that's when I'll try to go up in weight. And then if you've watched that series, we probably maxed out maybe like 5 times, 5, 6 times, and then I think I've failed 2 lifts where I didn't max out. One of those lifts um I really should have PR'd, but my CNS was too fatigued. I ran earlier in the day, which is really stupid. There's no point in running the same day you're trying to go for a 1 rep max, but it is what it is. We got past that. That was when I was trying to hit 150 and then I failed it. And then I got it back a couple weeks later, and then now I'm at 155. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.